Hi, and thank you for subscribing. Here's your bonus update for Friday, November the 8th. So out on a trip with a tournament angler today, so no pictures. He was prepping for a weekend tournament, and we're going to keep that on the down low for him. But what I can tell you, I wanted to share some information and things that I found while we were out today. First of all, I thought yesterday was really tough. Thursday, fish were just not responsive at all, not coming up, not pursuing baits very far. You could just see they were not in the mood to play for the most part. We did catch a few, but it was not a great day. Today, kind of polar opposite. As soon as we get out, we see fish schooling. We started with a crankbait, by the way, and did not catch anything. And again, we were doing tournament prep today, so we were just moving around a lot, looking at a lot of different places, coming up with a game plan for him for this weekend tournament. And I think he's got some stuff up further north he'll start on, but our focus was the lower lake, and indeed we really did just prove, if you will, that those fish are at the mouths of those creeks for sure. That is definitely the best bet, and I know we've talked about this on the weeklies the last couple of weeks, but definitely the thing, especially the better fish are out there at the mouths of the creeks. We did find that if you go further back, like we went back in Baldridge, for instance, today, back around Mary Ellis Park and in that area, and there were fish there, plenty of fish on the brush that were willing to eat, come up for, the Ima skimmer and the Ima skimmer, mainly that chrome Ima skimmer. And I've also started playing with another little bait. It only got bit a couple times, but it's a gunfish, the 95 gunfish, the 3-hook gunfish. I played with a little bit, but it's still, it's still that Ima skimmer. And the thing that I also wanted to share, in addition to those brush fish in the backs of Baldridge, backs of places like Baldridge, again, they're very willing to eat, probably more so than the ones at the mouth. However, they're smaller. So if you're just looking for bites, getting in the backs of some of these creeks and hitting some of the points and humps that are further back in, say more than a third of the way back in, could be a good recipe for numbers and maybe a lot of fun with those fish. However, just no size there. And for him, obviously that's what we wanted to quantify, is like, hey, can we go back in here and is there by some chance some bigger fish back here? The answer for us was no. So definitely going to stay, he's going to stay more out at the mouths of the creeks. And the other interesting thing that I found, and the thing that I'm, the bait that I'm sharing there is a Jackall riser. We went into some of the lower lake creeks, and in the mouths today, there was a lot of schooling activity. Fish, spots, and stripers were out moving around, pushing bait around. In a lot of situations, they were schooling on the threadfin shad. Now, this is something that normally happens in November. They make the switch from bluebacks to threadfin. The bluebacks run, some of them go in the backs of some creeks, others run all the way up north, and the lower lake kind of clears out of bluebacks, and it becomes more of a threadfin thing. And therefore, obviously, your bait choices change, you downsize, etc. But I was throwing that Jackall riser up above those fish that we were seeing when they were schooling. And I'm just reeling it on the surface. It almost looks like a miniature wake bait. It does not have a very good presence. Occasionally I'd stop it. If I saw the fish coming up to it on the live scope, I would stop the bait, and sometimes that would garner a strike. Sometimes just straight reeling it, they'd come up and hit it. So that's an option. I know it's been talked about a lot in the community, that this thing works. I haven't played with it much. However, today it definitely did make an impact when those fish were schooling on those threadfin shad. So wanted to make that note to you. Another quick note, obviously the weather's going to change this weekend. We're going to get much cooler Sunday particularly, but it's going to be a lot cooler and cloudy tomorrow. 80 today, 68 tomorrow, and I think 50 something for a high on Sunday. So that weather change could push some more fish to the bank, could make the crankbait fire a little bit better, but certainly don't ignore those fish out on structure. Whether it be maybe a Sebile, like with the wind blowing, I could see a Sebile or some type of swim bait like the Shishimi swimmer doing well. And when I say Sebile, obviously I mean the linear baits, hard swimmers, but that kind of thing could really be a winner. In addition to the topwater, don't ignore the topwater. Even on the cloudy, windy days, they could still come up for that, because it's really been unprecedented now that we're still getting bites on that Ima skimmer and still catching quality fish on it. So And I think that's just a product of the weather and the situation that we're in with, warmer temperatures than normal for the beginning of, November. So anyway, wanted to share all those things with you. Hopefully that gives you some more fuel for the weekend, keeps you going. I'm back out next week. And obviously when we find some major changes or anything going on, we'll hop back on here with a bonus daily report. And of course, like every Thursday, we'll drop a new weekly on Thursday next week for you as well. Thanks again so much for being here. Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend.